Well, hello all you wonderful people out there in YouTube land. This is the Texas Special, and before we kick off this February HO scale product review, I wanted to share something with y'all real quick. This is the front end of my wife's HO scale lifelike Chessie GP38. Now, as you can see, it does not have the ubiquitous horn hook couplers that it came with. As a matter of fact, none of my wife's lifelike and Tyco HO scale rolling stock is equipped with horn hook couplers anymore. So all this stuff on the track has been completely converted over to KD number 147 whisker magnetic couplers. Now, what's that mean? Obviously, number one, the couplers look much more realistic than these guys right here. In fact, most HO scale train sets from as far back as I know, the 1960s, 70s, all the way up till even the mid 2000s. A lot of beginner level sets, especially your lifelike train sets and your model power train sets, came with these couplers right here, and a lot of the Bachmann sets all the way up till the early 2000s came with those sets. And a shocking number of higher end HO scale models, actual scale models meant for adult hobbyists, came from the factory with those couplers because they were so prolific on the ready to run market. If you wanted operating knuckle couplers or knuckle couplers of any variety at all, you had to buy them aftermarket and install them on the locomotive or freight cars after the fact. Thankfully, those days are, for the most part, long behind us in the hobby. Pretty much everything nowadays, even the cheap beginner train set stuff, comes with some sort of magnetic operating knuckle coupler. And it's nice to be able to bring these lifelike trains and these two Tyco boxcars into the 21st century so that they're compatible with any brand new HO scale rolling stock that I buy. They'll be able to run together. Now, let's get this February 2023 HO scale product review underway. Okay, so earlier this month we took a look at a Lionel O-gauge, traditional O-gauge flat car that was meant as an add-on for the Lionel Frisco freight set. So we're going to keep that flat car theme rolling this month with these guys. As you can tell by the packaging, these are Walther's train line cars. They are essentially identical cars. The only difference is the paint job. So I'm going to flip these boxes over and take a look at what they are. We have two HO scale 40-foot Walther's train line flat cars. One is lettered and decorated for the Rio Grande, the other for the Santa Fe Railroad. My son's favorite color is red, explains this guy, and I wanted something that kind of stood out and contrasted with the current rolling stock that we have in HO scale, but was still on this side of the Mississippi. So, Rio Grande. The packaging for these is very, very user-friendly. You open it up, pull it out, set that aside for now. Right here, slip off that plastic cover, and there's the car. There's no extra packaging or anything like that. These survived the trip in the mail with no dents, dings, scratches, or missing parts. As you can see, the car comes with plastic magnetic operating knuckle couplers, which, unlike the Cadies, which are metal, as I said, these are plastic. They just have one solid little piece of, very fragile piece of plastic here to act as a spring. The details are all cast on. This is a relatively low level starter set type of item. The Walthers Train Line series is meant to be a cheaper alternative to higher priced, more finely scaled, we'll call them rivet counter type models. The trucks are a plastic arch bar type. I take that back, not arch bar. They're a plastic truck, solid piece. No, there's spring detail, but they're not actually sprung. They feature a frictionless bearing, and they have cast-in brake wheel detailing, or brake shoe detailing, which my camera's not wanting to zoom in on. You can see here the stirrup step is slightly oversized, and it is one solid piece with the body. The stake pockets are cast onto the body. They are also slightly oversized, but again, we're not talking about the Scale Trains Rivet Counter series here, y'all. Yes, I've done a little homework on this. The lettering is very well executed. All of the data, what little bit is there, is legible. The paint separation and the decaling is, well, the decaling is first rate. Everything's clear and crisp. There's no flaking or anything like that. The underside of the car has very minimal detailing. You can see the air brake piston, the service and emergency reservoir, the brake valve, and various brake rigging levers and rods and apparatuses underneath the car. I'm not too terribly torn up about the lack of detail on the underside of the car because it is the underside of the car. Currently my trains are running on the floor, so you're not really going to see it. One thing that did get my attention with this car that leans heavily in the negatives is the body and the frame are two separate pieces. The body it just slips on over the frame, kind of like the old HO scale Lifelike and Bachmann boxcars, and it's very loose fitting. It's actually kind of sloppily done, and it's a little disappointing. I'd kind of expect some more craftsmanship from Walthers, but you know, that's really the only downside of this car. As you can see, it comes with metal wheels, plastic axles, but metal wheels. And I've been playing around with it over the last week or so, and it handles the 18-inch radius curves very well. It has had absolutely no problems with the Bachmann Easy Track switches on the floor railroad. So overall, for $14.99, very good car. And as I said, the two are virtually identical, and they both performed and operated the exact same with no issues whatsoever. So, that being said, I'm not going to pull the Santa Fe car out of the box and re-say everything I just said. So I'll pull it out, and so y'all can get a good close look at it before we throw these bad boys on the track and run them. And this is the Santa Fe car, as promised. Like I said earlier, virtually identical to the Rio Grande flat car, all the way down to the annoying frame wiggle. But it's imperceptible when it's operating on the track, so it's just a little If you don't know, it won't bother you. If you know and you're a perfectionist, don't buy these because that might bother you. I'm sure there's a way to fix that without making it permanent, but I'm not that worried about it in the grand scheme of things. For $14.99, I'm just glad that they run good on the track and look good doing it. So let's fire up the transformer and get this train rolling. This is a Texas special. Thank you guys for the support. I've got the best subscribers on YouTube. I don't care what anybody says. If you're new to the channel and you like what you saw, please feel free to hit that subscriber button. We've got new content posting every single day. Also, side note, on February 18th, from 10 o'clock to 4:30 in the afternoon, 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. in Pasadena, Texas, the San Jacinto Model Railroad Club will be hosting the 2023 Greater Houston Area Train Show. So, if you are in the Houston area or can very easily be in the Houston area, Saturday, February 18th, 2023, come on down. I've already arranged for time off. I'm planning to attend myself, and so long as life doesn't interfere, you'll see me wandering around with the video camera, shooting footage of the various model railroads that should be there on display. It's always a good time. It's a great show. If you've never been and you're interested in model trains, or you know someone that is, you should definitely take them. Admission is $10 for families. Children under 5 are free. Children 5 to 12 are, I believe, $3, and adults are $5 a pop. So it's a relatively inexpensive show. There's usually a food and beverage vendor on site, so you don't have to leave to get lunch. And there's lots of model trains running around, lots of vendors to buy model train and railroad memorabilia. I highly recommend it. If you've never been, go. If you've been before, come again. And I genuinely hope to see some of you wonderful folks out there in YouTube land that watch the videos. Genuinely hope to see y'all there in Pasadena, Texas. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. Texas Special out.